Allods Online has been around for quite some years now. The question is, how is it in 2021? Is it still worth playing? These are just two of the questions that I'm going to answer for you in this video. So let's get started. Allods Online is an MMORPG that was released back in October 2010. It is developed by a Russian company that's actually called Allods Team. During its first years of activity, the game suffered a lot of backlash for its microtransactions decisions. It was, and still is on the free-to-play server, considered a huge pay-to-win MMO game. As the years went by, however, both the game and the company went through considerable changes at their core, which led to where we are today. The game's community was essentially split in an idea which seems to work quite well for the game. This idea was to create a separate server with a monthly subscription which removed all cash shop items. But is it too late for that? Let's see what the differences between the free-to-play and the pay-to-play servers are. As of now, there are two ways you can play Allods Online. You can join a free-to-play server called Evolution, where there's still a cash shop items and still considered pay-to-win, or you can join a pay-to-play server called Smuggler's Paradise, where you pay a $5 or €5 monthly subscription and you can enjoy the game without any cash shop problems. All items from the cash shop can be earned in-game. Aside from these little cash shop problems, there's also a notable amount of quality of life and power differences between the two servers. A veteran player called Drakagon posted a thread on their forums in which he explains in detail what the differences are. You can check the link in the description box of this video if you're curious yourself to see all the changes. During my recording sessions, I've played on both the free-to-play and the pay-to-play servers, so I can better feel the differences between the two while also taking notes on how the population is. Now, let's move on to the races and the classes in the game. Allods Online features 8 races from which you can choose from. Each race has access to a certain number of the 11 classes available. Not all races get access to every class, or a certain class for that matter. Each class has a different name depending on the race you choose to play it as. As far as I've seen, however, they have the same skills no matter the race you choose, so that's good. Also, the races are split between two major factions, the League and the Empire. The League has the Canians, Elves and Gibberlings as races, while the Empire has the Xaraganians, the Horizon and the Orcs. The Pridons are a neutral race until you complete the starter area, which should take you to around level 23-25 depending on how much you grind it. Once you finish all the main quests there, you get to choose which faction you will join. There's another mystical race called the Aoidoi, which from my little research you unlock somewhere at level 75 I think. There are some interesting race designs here considering the age this MMORPG has. The Gibberlings race, for example, which features 3 small characters that you can play as. You can only play one of them, however, it kinda selects them all, but it's actually a fun concept. The character customization is fairly basic. You get to choose through a short number of presets and that's about it. It's a standard feature that worked well back then and still goes alright these days, even though we're spoiled by complex character creations by other big games like Black Desert Online. If you're playing a hunter, you also get to name your pet right away. Its name will also be shown next to yours whenever it's summoned. Once your character is made, you're ready to jump in the game. One thing that you should do before that, however, is to take a look at modifying the settings of your game. You only get access to them right after your character is made. The music was way too loud in the beginning, so I had to lower it quite a bit. Allods Online features a combat system similar to other MMORPGs you're already probably familiar with. Back then, when it was released, Allods Online along with Runes of Magic and Rift were always compared to World of Warcraft due to how similar their gameplay and UI was. While in reality there's very many similarities to make it a legit comparison, there's still a number of differences that make this game a bit unique. Little details such as the quality of life features make it an enjoyable experience to level up. You have auto-run to NPCs and also auto-complete on a lot of quests using the Mark of Fate currency that you can gain through gameplay. That's actually really helpful if you don't want to spend some time killing some monsters or gathering stuff for your quests. Early on in the game you can acquire mounts as well, which should speed things up even more. On the free-to-play version of the game, you will need to feed mounts in order for them to reach their max speed. On the pay-to-play version of the game, mounts aren't so hungry. You might even say they're fasting. They don't need any food and can always please their master by running at their max speed. As you level up, depending on the type of server you're playing on, you will receive helpful packages. These packages grant you better armor and weapons and sometimes even goodies to keep your gear fresh. The quests are what you'd expect from an MMORPG this old. They're the classic kill some monsters, fetch up some things for me types. You do get some interesting quests here and there with NPCs like the Lion King characters I got here. Scar, really? What happens if you die though? Well, you get a trip to the good old purgatory. If you die due to strong monsters or silly mistakes like jumping off the cliff like me here, you get sent to this place right here. The purgatory is the zone you'll spend 15 minutes in to reflect on your actions, or you can buy your instant ticket out of there with a couple of gold coins if you're on the pay-to-play server, or mirror points if you're on the free-to-play server, which guess what? You can get them from the cash shop. What about the story and atmosphere though? Well, the story is quite interesting as a concept in Allods Online. 1,000 years ago, the great cataclysm split the world of Sarnaut into an infinite number of islands called Allods, which spread throughout the astral. The population of this world, of Sarnaut, eventually learned how to travel these islands through the usage of their special ships. Shortly after, however, a war began between the League and the Empire. Classic. That's the short version, which should give you an idea how the game plays out. About these special ships, you can build them along with your guild and go out and explore these huge islands. The Astral is a beautiful sight. Unfortunately, I did not get much footage of it, but from the little bits I got, it looked amazing. Now, the final and probably most important question. Is Allods Online still worth playing in 2021? Yes and no. The game's been through rough times and age has not been kind on its player base. If you're okay with playing with only a handful of dedicated players, just enough to do all kinds of content with, then it's absolutely worth a try at least. If you're going to play on the pay-to-play server, that is. Throughout my short adventures on both the free-to-play and pay-to-play servers, I asked some players around to see what they have to say about the population. Most of the answers I got redirected me strictly on the pay-to-play servers. So yeah, if you plan on playing the free route, you're going to have a really hard time progressing through to the end game, and even once you get there, you'll be at a serious disadvantage against the whales. However, there's still fun to be had on the pay-to-play servers. Aside from that, there's still also some content creators around for the game. Dragagon, for example, does frequent guides on YouTube for Allods Online and also live streams of high-level gameplay. You can check him out if you want to see more about how the game plays later on, and also ask him some questions if you want to. You can also join the Discord server for the pay-to-play server, which is mainly run by the community. They also have an official Discord server, which is soon going through a merge, I think. But yeah, you can find the links to Dragagon, the full review of this game on my website, and the Discord links in the description down below. This marks the end of my review on Allods Online in 2021, and also the end of my first video on this channel. If you enjoyed watching this video, feel free to leave a like and share your opinion in the comment section below. Have you ever played Allods Online? Will you ever play it? Let me know.